Hi everyone, happy Friday. So normally I do wellness tips on Wednesday, but this past Wednesday was a little cray-cray, I think we can all agree. And yet today seems cray-cray as well, but I bet you're struggling like a lot of my clients right now with mindless eating or mindless drinking. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you how to stop it. So listen up. First, why? Everything we do, 99.9% of everything we do is a learned behavior. Think about this, like you get up in the morning and you brush your teeth, you take a shower, you ladies, you probably put on a bra, you put on clothes, right? Before you walk out of the door, do you really have to think through that? No, that's a learned behavior. Your parents taught you to do this, it's ingrained in you, it's rote, you just get up and do it. What most people don't realize is that their eating habits are also a learned behavior. So I was talking to my full-time clients today saying, hey, if you're struggling with mindless eating, why are you returning to the scene of the crime? And here's what I mean by this. So number one, realize that your snacking at night or mindless drinking at night is all a learned behavior. You've done this to yourself. You've created this. And now it's an ingrained learned behavior, which, as you know, is called a habit. So as I said to my clients, how do we stop this? Stop returning to the scene of the crime. Play this one out. Most people struggle in the evening hours. So they finish their dinner, they're kind of winding down for the day, and there's this learned behavior of perhaps having a beer, having a glass of wine, having a cocktail, or pulling out a bag of chips or the ice cream or the cookies, all of that. It was a learned behavior. And every single night, you return to the scene of the crime. For example, you get done with dinner, and then you get done with cleaning up the kitchen, and you meander into the family room. And because that is where you have enjoyed that wine, that beer, that cocktail, or those sugary or salty treats, as soon as you get to, for example, the family room, your brain triggers without you thinking, oh, it's time for wine, it's time for beer, it's time for this mindless eating or mindless drinking. How do you break it? You stop returning to the scene of the crime. So, for example, after dinner, if your normal habit has always been to go to the family room and partake, you don't go to the family room. It's going to take a week, maybe 2 weeks of doing this, but you cannot go back to that same couch, that same chair, because then subconsciously you're triggering, oh, it's time to eat or drink this. So what do? Well, maybe you just go to a different room of the house. Maybe you go up to your bedroom. Maybe you go take a hot bath. Get out of the house. Take a walk with your kids, with your dog. Come walk my dog. You get out of the room that has historically been the scene of the crime. So I want you to think about what your mindless eating or mindless drinking habits have been. And I want you to think of a replacement for that. That replacement, number one, likely has to be a different room of the house. Maybe you start playing a game with your kids in the dining room. Maybe you go out and sit on your back porch. In order to break the habit, you can no longer, for a little bit, go back to where it's always happened. Generally, these ingrained behaviors are week-long, month-long, maybe a year-long, and maybe you're just tired of losing every single day at the end of the day with this mindless habit. Remove yourself from the scene of the crime. Create a new habit. Do not go back to that couch or that chair where you've been mindlessly eating or drinking. Don't do it. Form a new habit, go to a different room, create a new action in that room or out of the house that does not involve the mindless eating or drinking. Hope you guys have a strong weekend. Really think about this because it can be a game changer.